January 2026 Social Security. Why this month matters more than you think. For millions of Americans living on Social Security, January is never just another month. January sets the tone for the entire year. And in January 2026, that matters more than usual. Across the country, Social Security checks, some as high as over $5,000, are scheduled to hit bank accounts. But here's the issue many seniors are already facing. Not everyone is receiving the amount they expected, and not everyone is being paid on the date they assumed. For some, checks are arriving later than normal. For others, the deposit is smaller than last month. And for certain households, payment dates have shifted entirely. That confusion creates stress, especially when you rely on this money to cover rent, groceries, utilities, and medical costs. This video series is designed to bring clarity. We are going to walk through the exact January 2026 Social Security payment schedule, explain why different groups are paid on different days, and break down what's happening behind the scenes when payments don't arrive as expected. We'll also explain important changes for 2026, including higher maximum benefits, average payment increases, and how retirement age rules continue to affect your monthly income. Most importantly, this is not about headlines or hype. This is about helping you understand when your money is coming, how much you should expect, and what steps to take if something doesn't look right. How much Social Security pays in 2026, maximums, averages, and reality. Before we talk about payment dates, there's another question every senior wants answered first. How much should my Social Security check actually be in 2026? According to the Social Security Administration, benefit amounts are increasing next year, but the increase looks very different depending on when you claimed and how long you worked. At the very top end, the maximum Social Security benefit for 2026 rises to $5,251 per month. This amount is only available to people who waited until age 70 to claim benefits and paid the maximum amount into the system throughout their working careers. For retirees who claim benefits at full retirement age, which is now 67, the maximum monthly benefit is $4,052. And for those who claim early at age 62, even after paying the maximum into Social Security, the top benefit drops significantly to $2,969 per month, just under $3,000. That range is important because many seniors hear about the highest number and assume it applies to everyone. It does not. For most Americans, the average Social Security benefit in 2026 will be about $1,976 per month, reflecting an increase of roughly $56 compared to last year. That may not sound like much, but when you're living on fixed income, even a small increase can help offset rising grocery prices, higher utility bills, and growing medical costs. In the next part, we'll explain why full retirement age matters more than ever, how it reached age 67, and why policymakers are even discussing pushing it higher in the future. Full retirement age. Explained. Why 67 is now the new normal. To understand why Social Security payments vary so widely in 2026, you need to understand one key concept: full retirement age, often called FRA. For many seniors, full retirement age used to be 65. That's what people planned around for decades. But that is no longer the case. Today, full retirement age is 67. This change did not happen overnight. Over many years, Congress gradually increased the full retirement age as Americans began living longer and collecting benefits for more years than the system originally anticipated. Here's why this matters. If you claim Social Security before your full retirement age, your monthly benefit is permanently reduced. That reduction stays with you for life. If you claim at full retirement age, you receive your standard benefit, no reduction, but also no delay bonus. And if you delay beyond full retirement age, your benefit grows by 8% for each year you wait, up until age 70. That's why someone claiming at 70 can receive thousands more per month than someone who claimed early, even if they earned the same income during their career. Now, there's another important point seniors should be aware of. Policymakers are openly discussing the possibility of raising full retirement age even further in the future, to age 69 or even 70, as a way to strengthen Social Security's long-term finances. That does not affect current retirees today, but it does highlight why understanding the rules matters so much. In the next part, we'll move from benefit amounts to payment timing and explain how Social Security decides which Wednesday your check arrives each month, how Social Security decides your monthly payment date. One of the most confusing parts of Social Security is not the amount. It's the payment date. Many seniors assume their check arrives on the same day every month. But for most recipients, that's not how the system works. Social Security uses a staggered payment schedule designed to spread payments across the month. Your exact payment date depends on two things: the type of benefit you receive and your date of birth. If you receive Social Security retirement benefits or SSDI, your payment is scheduled on a specific Wednesday of the month. Here's how it works. If you were born between the 1st and the 10th, your payment arrives on the second Wednesday of the month. If you were born between the 11th and the 20th, your payment comes on the third Wednesday. And if you were born between the 21st and the 31st, your payment is scheduled for the fourth Wednesday of the month. This system has been in place for years, but many people don't realize how much it affects timing, especially when months have holidays, weekends, or unusual calendar layouts. Now, this schedule does not apply to everyone. Some beneficiaries are paid on the third of the month, regardless of birthday. Others, like SSI recipients, follow an entirely different rule. Understanding which group you fall into is essential because it explains why your neighbor may get paid a week before you, even though you're both on Social Security. In the next part, we'll apply these rules directly to January 2026 and walk through the exact calendar dates you should be watching for your deposit. January 2026. Payment dates, retirement, and SSDI checks explained now. Let's apply the rules directly to January 2026 because this is where confusion often begins. January is not a normal month on the Social Security calendar. It includes holidays, shifted payment dates, and one of the latest fourth Wednesday payments of the entire year. If you receive Social Security retirement benefits, or SSDI, your January 2026 payment date depends entirely on your birthday. Here is how it breaks down. If you were born between the 1st and the 10th of the month, your payment date is Wednesday, January 14th, 2026. If you were born between the 11th and the 20th, your payment arrives on Wednesday, January 21st, 2026. And if you were born between the 21st and the 31st, your payment does not arrive until Wednesday, January 28th, 2026. That last group is especially important. A January 28th payment can feel very late, especially after holiday spending in December. For some households, that creates a longer than usual gap between checks. This delay is not a mistake. It is not a reduction. And it does not mean your benefits were cut. It is simply the result of how the calendar falls in January 2026. Understanding this ahead of time helps you plan bills, rent, and essential expenses without unnecessary stress. In the next part, we'll focus on SSI recipients, explain why January payments are handled differently, and clarify why some people receive two checks close together, while others receive none during the calendar month. SSI payments in January 2026, early checks and missing months explained. For seniors receiving Supplemental Security Income, or SSI, January 2026 can be especially confusing. That's because SSI follows a completely different payment rule than Social Security Retirement, or SSDI. Under normal circumstances, SSI is paid on the first day of the month, but Social Security does not send payments on weekends or federal holidays. And in January 2026, January 1st falls on a holiday. As a result, SSI recipients will not receive their January payment in January. Instead, the entire January SSI payment will be sent early, on Wednesday, December 31st, 2025. This often causes panic for seniors who check their bank account in January and see nothing deposited. But this is not a missed payment, a cut, or an error. Your January money already arrived, just a few days early. There is another important detail to understand. Because February 1st, 2026 falls on a Saturday, SSI recipients will also receive their February payment early on Friday, January 30th, 2026. That means SSI recipients will see two deposits close together, one at the end of December and one at the end of January, followed by a longer gap before the next payment. This timing can feel uneven if you're not prepared. Knowing this in advance allows you to budget carefully and avoid unnecessary worry. In the next part, we'll talk about a special group of beneficiaries who are paid on the third of the month and explain exactly who falls into that category and why. The special January 2nd payment group, who gets paid early and why. In January 2026, there is one group of Social Security recipients whose payment date stands out. These individuals are scheduled to be paid on Friday, January 2nd, 2026. This often surprises people, especially those who are used to Wednesday payments. But again, this is not a bonus, not a mistake, and not a special increase. It's simply how the calendar works. Normally, this group is paid on the third day of the month. However, in January 2026, January 3rd falls on a Saturday, and as a rule, Social Security does not issue payments on weekends. So the payment is moved one day earlier to Friday, January 2nd. Now, who exactly is in this category? This group includes several specific types of beneficiaries: people who filed for Social Security before May 1997, individuals who receive both Social Security and SSI, some disability beneficiaries, people whose state pays their Medicare, Part B premiums, beneficiaries who live outside the United States. If you fall into one of these categories, your January payment is scheduled for January 2nd, earlier than most other recipients. For seniors, this early payment can be helpful, especially after the holidays, but it can also cause confusion if you're not expecting it. The key point is this: early does not mean extra. Your payment amount remains the same. Only the date changes. In the next part, we'll address what to do if your payment doesn't arrive on time, comes in lower than expected, or seems different from previous months. When your check is late or smaller. What's really happening? One of the most stressful moments for any Social Security recipient is checking your bank account and seeing something unexpected. Maybe the payment hasn't arrived yet. Maybe the amount is lower than last month, or maybe the date suddenly looks different than what you're used to. Before assuming something is wrong, it's important to understand what's actually happening behind the scenes. First, timing issues are common, especially in months like January that include holidays, weekends, and shifted schedules. A payment that appears late is often just following the official calendar, not missing. Second, smaller deposits are frequently linked to Social Security overpayments. In recent years, the Social Security Administration has increased efforts to recover overpayments, situations where beneficiaries were paid more than they were entitled to in the past. When this happens, SSA may automatically withhold a portion of your monthly check to recover that balance. This can happen without warning and can reduce your payment temporarily until the overpayment is repaid. Another factor can be Medicare Part B premiums. If premiums increased or your income changed, more may be deducted from your check than before. If your payment does not arrive at all, the recommendation is clear: wait 3 business days before taking action. If the payment still hasn't appeared, contact the Social Security Administration and request an appointment to review your account. Do not ignore the issue, but don't panic either. In the next part, we'll explain Social Security overpayments in more detail, why they're happening more often, and what seniors can do to protect themselves. Social Security overpayments: why more seniors are seeing cuts. Over the past year, one issue has quietly become a growing problem for Social Security recipients. That issue is overpayments. An overpayment happens when the Social Security Administration determines that you were paid more than you were legally entitled to, sometimes months or even years earlier. And here's what surprises many seniors: most overpayments are not caused by fraud or wrongdoing. They often result from delayed income reporting, changes in work status, errors in earnings records, or slow updates when someone transitions between disability, retirement, or spousal benefits. When SSA identifies an overpayment, they have the authority to recover the money automatically. That recovery usually comes in the form of reduced monthly checks. In other words, part of your Social Security payment is withheld until the overpaid amount is repaid. For seniors living on fixed income, these reductions can feel sudden and alarming, especially if no clear explanation was received ahead of time. If this happens to you, it's important to know that you do have options. You can request a detailed explanation of the overpayment. You can appeal if you believe it is incorrect, and in some cases, you can request a waiver if repayment would cause financial hardship. The most important thing is not to ignore it. Overpayments do not resolve themselves, and delaying action can make the situation worse. In the next part, we'll shift from problems to solutions and share practical ways seniors can stretch their Social Security checks further each month without earning more income. How to stretch your Social Security check without earning more. When money feels tight, many seniors assume there's only one solution: earn more. But for most people living on Social Security, that's not realistic or even desirable. The good news is this: there are ways to stretch your Social Security check further without working another day. The first strategy involves food assistance programs. Many seniors don't realize that SNAP, often called food stamps, has special income rules for older Americans. Unlike younger households, seniors are often evaluated based on net income, not gross income. That difference alone can make qualifying much easier. For those who qualify, SNAP benefits can reduce grocery costs by $50 to $100 per month, sometimes more. That's real money staying in your pocket. The second strategy is about how and when you withdraw money from retirement accounts. Large one-time withdrawals can push your income into higher brackets, triggering increased Medicare Part B premiums. By spreading withdrawals throughout the year, many seniors avoid these higher premiums and save hundreds of dollars annually without changing total income. The third strategy is one many people overlook entirely. Check your Social Security earnings record for errors. Mistakes happen more often than you might expect. Missing years or incorrect earnings can quietly reduce your benefit. Correcting an error could increase your monthly check by $50 to $200 permanently. In the next part, we'll focus on one of the most powerful tools of all, strategic delay, and explain how waiting even 1 year can dramatically increase lifetime benefits. The power of delay, how waiting can increase your monthly check. One of the most powerful and least understood tools in Social Security planning is delay. For every year you wait to claim Social Security after your full retirement age, your monthly benefit increases by 8%. That increase continues until age 70. This is not a bonus, it is not temporary, and it is not a one-time adjustment. It is a permanent increase to your monthly check. For example, waiting just 1 additional year after full retirement age can raise your benefit enough to cover groceries, utilities, or a portion of medical costs every single month. Waiting from age 67 to age 70 results in a 24% increase. For many seniors, that translates into $500 to $700 more per month for life. Now, here's something many people don't realize. If you already claimed Social Security, but you're within your first 12 months, you may have a rare second chance. You can withdraw your application, repay what you've received, and restart later at a higher amount. If you're already past full retirement age, you may also be able to suspend benefits, allowing them to continue growing until age 70. This strategy isn't right for everyone. Health, savings, and personal circumstances matter. But for seniors who can afford to wait, even briefly, the long-term impact can be substantial. In the next part, we'll look at household strategies, including spousal and survivor benefits, and explain how coordinated claiming decisions can unlock thousands more over a lifetime. Spousal and household strategies that can increase lifetime benefits. For many seniors, Social Security is not just an individual decision, it's a household decision. And when benefits are coordinated correctly between spouses, the difference over a lifetime can add up to tens of thousands of dollars. One common strategy involves staggering when each spouse claims benefits. For example, one spouse may choose to claim earlier, providing immediate income, while the other delays benefits until age 70. This allows the household to receive some income now, while still maximizing the larger benefit later. This approach can be especially powerful when one spouse earns significantly more than the other. Why? Because the higher earning spouse's benefit often becomes the foundation for spousal and survivor benefits. By allowing that higher benefit to grow through delay, the household protects long-term income, especially if one spouse passes away. Survivor benefits are often overlooked. If one spouse dies, the surviving spouse may be entitled to receive the higher of the two benefits, not both. That makes maximizing at least one benefit critically important for financial stability later in life. There are also situations where a lower-earning spouse may qualify for spousal benefits based on their partner's work record. Understanding when and how to claim can prevent leaving money on the table. These strategies are not one-size-fits-all. Health, savings, age differences, and personal needs all matter. But what's clear is this. Claiming decisions made without considering the household picture often result in lower lifetime income. In the next part, we'll focus on a simple but essential habit, reviewing your Social Security statement, and explain why small errors can quietly cost seniors hundreds of dollars every month. Why reviewing your Social Security statement matters more than you think. One of the simplest steps seniors can take to protect their Social Security income is also one of the most commonly overlooked. That step is reviewing your Social Security statement. Many people assume the numbers are correct. After all, they paid into the system for decades. But errors in Social Security records are far more common than most seniors realize. Missing earnings years, incorrect income amounts, delayed updates from employers. Even small mistakes can quietly reduce your monthly benefit, sometimes by $50, $100, or even $200 per month. Over the course of retirement, that can add up to thousands of dollars lost. The good news is that checking your record is easier than ever. By creating an account on the official Social Security website, you can view your full earnings history and verify that every year you worked is accurately reflected. If something looks wrong, you can gather documentation and request a correction. This is especially important if you change jobs frequently, worked for multiple employers in a single year, took time off, and later returned to work, earned income close to the annual maximum. Correcting errors does not require additional work or new contributions. It simply ensures you receive the benefit you already earned. For seniors living on fixed income, this review can make a meaningful difference without changing lifestyle or spending habits. In the final part, we'll bring everything together and summarize what January 2026 means, what to expect moving forward, and how to stay confident and prepared. The bottom line for January 2026: plan with confidence, not confusion. As we wrap up this full January 2026 Social Security breakdown, one message matters more than anything else. Clarity brings peace of mind. January 2026 is a month filled with shifted payment dates, early deposits, delayed Wednesdays, and special rules that can easily cause confusion, especially for seniors who depend on Social Security as their primary source of income. But when you understand the system, the uncertainty fades. You now know why benefit amounts vary so widely in 2026, how full retirement age and delayed claiming affect your monthly check, exactly which day your January payment should arrive, why SSI payments appear early or seem to disappear, what to do if your check is late, smaller, or reduced, and how smart planning can stretch your income further without working more. Most importantly, you understand that nothing about January's schedule means your benefits are being taken away. The dates may change, the calendar may shift, but the system is still operating according to established rules. The key for seniors moving forward is simple: plan based on facts, not fear. Check your records regularly, respond to issues calmly and promptly, and never assume something is wrong until you've verified it. Social Security was designed to provide stability in retirement. While it may not be perfect, understanding how it works allows you to stay in control, month by month, year by year. You're doing the right thing by staying informed. And with that knowledge, you can move into January 2026 prepared, confident, and steady.